Hey guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So this is our Bitcoin daily wrap up. So straight up to the charts. So we'll start off with the DMT and the Dominator. So yeah, not much happened in the DMT other than the sell line has been following the price up. And you can see here we are getting pretty close to a potential sell. That will coincide with just under 9,400. Which, as you guys know, does line up with our support that we've got basically from the 9,400 to 9,300 range. So that would activate a sell trade. You can see we had a great buy trade, great basically buy there. Let's see where it would be at the moment if we were still running it. Buy there would be in about 5% profit, and then obviously we had our really nice sell trade here. That went initial. Wrong tool, wrong one. That went initially 1.5%, pretty much 1.6% in a loss, and then pretty much straight down to a 6% gain. Ultimately getting to about an 8% gain before flipping to a buy at a 4.5% gain. So yeah, some great trades there. The Dominator, you can see, Dominator's not been performing as well. It got the buy there, which was a great trade, and it got the sell here at the same time. But in between there, it's had a bit of so-so trades, a bit of price flipping. Not too much decision really, but yeah, so in between there, you guys know now we do operate this Dominator a slightly different way now, with our range and stop and the two Dominator time frames. But actually I'm going to tell you guys we're actually starting the 3 commas videos again, the 3 commas bot updates, where we are going to be running. This is what we're going to be running. We're going to be running the DMT. This one here. I'm probably going to have a 2% stop. I'm probably going to have a trailing stop. So basically when we get 2% in profit, then we will obviously have a break even stop loss. And then I'm probably going to look at having the take profit at around maybe I'm thinking 5%, where it will then start trading 1%, because we are getting some big moves in this. So I do want to give it some good leeway to basically make some good moves. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I may maybe change that when I set it up. And then the other bot, I'm going to set the DMT bot up, and then the other bot I'm going to set up to is this Dominator one, where we've got a larger time frame that will dictate the direction we'll take the trades in, and the shorter time frame one that will dictate the other ones. But I'll go into this in more detail when I actually do the setup tutorial video for it all, and just kick it all off tomorrow morning. So yeah, look out for that one. So yeah, range and stop. Let's have a look what we had going on today. Where did we start today? Yeah, so obviously we had our pump up overnight. Yep, so we got the buy signal on this candle here, which was clearly a bit late. I mean, the move was a bit fast. We got a sell trade there, but we wouldn't have been entering sell trades based on the larger time frame. We could still have been in a buy trade from here though, so it would depend how far we came down. To see if we got stopped out, see if we came 1.6% down. I think it does like we did. Oh, this is very close. I didn't actually have this trade on, but no, this wouldn't have got triggered. 1.6% would be definitely just below. So actually, this would have been one of our pretty much perfect trades, where we get the entry, the buy entry, which, I mean, to be honest, we would have entered on this buy here actually. So because that wouldn't have taken profit, what would have happened? Well, what actually does happen, how the bot is actually set up, it redoes all the trade entries again when we get here. So what would happen is, if we don't have a full size position, so say for example we've taken some profit, or we've actually added to the position but we haven't taken any profit on those ladders, then it readjusts the position with the new stop loss and everything at the next buy entry. So actually, yeah, so just ignore what I said about how this would have been our entry, that would have been our entry, and then it would have all reset once we entered here. So we would have been fine, would have got all our fills, and then a really nice break up. So it's a shame I didn't have that on, but weekend action, and obviously this being a shorter time frame indicator, and obviously, as you know, we've got massive action incoming. We're pretty sure of this, aren't we? We're at a macro level. We're not just going to sit at this level and not break it, or not try and break it, or not get rejected from it. We're going to have something go on. But yeah, then we got another buy here, and I mean, we would have got some backfills and some take profits, so that wouldn't have been too bad. And then eventually we would have had to have stopped out of whatever we had remaining of the position. and then we enter the sell, but we've actually not had any sell yet. So yeah, you can see we kind of played along the bottom of the larger time frame range and stop, broke through a few times, but ultimately stayed above it until we actually did cleanly break it here, cleanly break, in which case we then formed a new range, and we're just basically sat in the middle of that range now. I expect we're waiting for CMEs to open for a bit of direction. So yeah, range and stop wise, that's what we're looking at there. So let's have a look at our main chart. We'll call this our main one. Let me just get rid of this volume. So this is our main one. So you can see we've got the nice trend line. Am I got drawing tools open? I have. Let's not start moving lines around. So yeah, you can see we had a little foray, a little sort of wick up to pretty much 9,800. Which yeah, this is what I expected would happen. I thought we'd get all the way up here for sure, then we would get the wick. Well, I thought we'd trade around here, and I didn't know if it would be a wick or if we would break and hold, but yeah, it turned out it was a wick, and now we're back within the pennant, but we are back within this little support area, so it's potentially the case that we could ride this support area around the 9,500. And then yeah, then mount another move up. I mean, maybe this is the extent of our break above, retest, and then bounce back up. Clearly I'm expecting a bigger move than that, but this is only based off this smaller time frame pennant. Obviously if we're looking at the very large macro one, then we'd expect a bigger move up and then a retrace and a bounce, but this could be the bounce off retrace, but we are back within the pennant, so obviously we need to break out of it. But even just staying at this level, staying here, obviously the pennant's a downward sloping line, so that its value that it's at is going to get lower. So we could just drift out of this and then start to get supported, and then I imagine we'll just make our way up then, because we'll be fully out of the top of the pennant. So yeah, one thing I will say that we do need to pay attention at is the 12-hour Stokes. We did get our crossover, but we did kind of say we could basically stay up here and move back up, which we did do, but we've crossed over again now. And I mean, I would expect we are potentially going to get some downward trend in this 12 hours. Obviously we've got to wait for it to start, wait for it actually to kick in. I guess on the shorter time frames it's almost in. You can see the 8 hour still not over the trend line, but starting to come down, and obviously the 4 hour we know will be coming down here. Yeah, 4 hour coming down there, but this looking like it could turn back up. So maybe the shorter time frames, which are going to be down, maybe they can sort of play out their downside and then can turn back up like the 1 hour is, and then yeah, we can have another push up. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Obviously these shorter time frames were looking a bit weaker this morning, and then we were saying that we would expect to move down, test some lower sides, which we haven't really. I mean, we have basically come down a bit lower than where we were this morning, but no real testing at the downside, no actually closing any 4 hour candles in the support zone or under the support zone. So it's looking pretty constructive, but I'm guessing we are going to wait for CMEs to open, and then we're going to, well, then the trading week starts. We're going to have to look at what happens in the stock market this week, because we know that is important for Bitcoin. Just looking at weekend Wall Street, we are off a bit, but I've seen this be off and then just rally way before. I mean, it's hard to really gauge too much on this other than maybe short-term Bitcoin price action over the weekend. But when the futures actually start trading, which they will do this evening, then we get direction from the actual futures rather than this weekend Wall Street that I don't actually know how IG actually calculates it, in all fairness. Maybe that's something I should look into. But yeah, so that's it really. There's not too much to say. Not a lot has happened since this morning. We are basically looking at, yeah, I mean, we have got a nice new level now for us to look at, as with the top of this wick. I mean, it doesn't become a new level obviously because we've got it drawn on pretty much anyway, but yeah, sort of the top of this wick, this top of this line here, obviously where I draw in it doesn't necessarily have to be 100% correct, so I mean it could be down there in reality, but yeah, so we have got a nice level where if we break through that, we then would expect an extension. I mean, I would expect at least to around the 10k basically. It's not obviously, I wouldn't expect that just to trigger us all the way up to 10,500. I would expect a move though above here, above this level, the top of here, which is, well, say call it 10,100. Above those highs, I expect that would take us up to 10,500. But yeah, so what I'm sort of expecting here is if we get, if we get some candles, I mean, we don't really, I mean, I think if we just tick over here, I don't necessarily think it's a case of closing a 4-hour or any larger time frame candle above here. That would obviously be great and definitely would propel us upwards, but I think just trading above this high now, we'll just call it 9,800, trading above 9,800 above this support, I think would trigger, it would trigger basically the start of us trading in this range here, either straight through it or just either way, just we'll have some price action in this area. And the downside is pretty clear though. We can very easily get some downside here, especially looking at the 12-hour Stokes. Daily is probably still, daily's starting to curl down too, and they didn't even quite reach that trend line either, so we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, these 12 hours could turn over. If they do start to come down, especially if it comes through this trend line here, then I think the very minimum we can expect, I think, is basically a test of somewhere on this trend line around here, which, as you can see, the prices, roughly speaking, are, yeah, around 8,900. So yeah, that could be very likely. I mean, I do feel that we are in such a critical zone that any sort of test down to this bottom end of the trend line, I do feel that the market manipulators that don't exist, obviously, in crypto, this is just it's just a fantasy, but suppose that there were market manipulators in this market that wanted to do some things, then I would suspect they will try and bust us out the bottom of here, using that momentum, bust us out the bottom, knowing they only need to get us under this 8,600 then, and then we'll definitely be testing at least the 8,000 or low 7,000s really. So I think that would, if I was a market manipulator, if I was a whale, this is sort of how I judge things. Oh, we did move that, didn't we? Yeah, we sorry, can we stop? Oh yeah, we locked it. Yeah, when I fiddled about with without the drawing tools on, we moved that pennant, so we'll put that back there. This is sort of how you have to do things. You have to look at it from these people, the other side's perspective. So there's a lot of liquidity down here if we start to take out some of these levels. So if we do get this initial momentum down, I would then, if I was a whale market maker, just wanting to get some liquidity, wanting to push the price around, I would be looking at forcing us through the bottom of here, and then we would quite easily get through this level, I think. At which case, this isn't the strongest support, so I think we'll probably end up settling. Possibly, our first real port of call would actually be around the 382, around this mid to low 7,000. So that is a downside to watch out for. That is a definite possible scenario. A possible scenario. I mean, I do feel like we could potentially get a test at the bottom of the pennant. And then I do feel like that downwards momentum coming from such a large macro place, macro sort of resistance, could then be taken a full advantage of to drive some lower prices, to hit some stops. All the people that were getting long above here, expecting the breakout now, the premature Peters, the people that basically got their positions on too early. Squeeze some of them, get that nice juicy liquidity. This is my whale's mind thinking. Get some nice low buys in, and then rip us straight back up. That's what I would be looking to do. There we go. So it's a potential scenario. That's all I'm saying. But everything's strong. Everything is strong at the moment. That's not necessarily looking like the likely scenario. But there are obviously bear factors, being the weekly TD9, being the 12-hour status looking like it's going to come down. Or that's only a medium-term bearish factor. And then just the fact that we're at this macro resistance. I mean, this is the level we could definitely, if we don't break through now and we start to make a reasonable distance away from that, then the selling will come in based on the people that are long from here. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it, guys? But though, at the moment, we are sat at the top of this pennant. We're sat at basically the top of this other little pennant. We're sat at the top of this big, larger time frame pennant. At the moment, we are just sat at the level where the ball's caught anyway, though. So it's the bulls to lose at the moment. They're in pole position. That's enough for the sporting analogies now. But yeah, they are basically in a position to take control of this market. They don't have to push us up much further. They don't have to then push us up much further than that, and then the macro is gonna kick in. Right, so anyway, so there we go, guys. So yeah, look out for the 3 comments videos then that are starting tomorrow, in the setup and the tutorials there. Yeah, just look out for CMEs open, see if we get some action around there. I'm expecting a volatile week anyway. I'm expecting a lot of volatility. I mean, if we start to come down, because we've sat up at this macro level for so long, we'll be getting premature positions getting built up in here, that will be ripe to be squeezed if we don't break up. If we do break up, we're gonna have some short positions. But also we're going to have people that are waiting, the patient traders waiting for the breakout, that are gonna then start piling in. Volume will increase if we start playing in this area, and that will be by volume, and that will potentially get us get the bull run of 2020 going. It'll get the bull running. So there we go. Right, thanks for listening, guys. Remember, smash the likes, yeah, I really appreciate you all guys watching, and I will speak to you all in the morning.